Hey, what's up, Buck fans? Real Bucks Talk back with another live stream Monday. Today, it's another sad Monday, it seems like. The Bucks lose 27-24 to the Kansas City Chiefs. There was some good, there was some bad. Early on, a lot of bad. But let's take it what it is. I mean, the Bucks are 7-5. They're showing a lot of the stuff that we've seen over and over again so far in the season. I mean, if you were surprised by what happened, I mean, some people thought it was going to be a blowout. Some people didn't think we had a chance in hell in this game. So, oh, that was you. So, my co-host Michael Pless. If y'all are new to the show, that's Pless. I just refer to Pless. But
What up?
give me your 2 cents. How did you think this game went? Did you obviously you thought it was going to be a blowout, but
hmm
what'd you think of the result?
Well, I mean, it kind of played out the way I thought. Early on, the Bucks would, do what the Bucks do, not listen to what we say as far as
Yeah,
the game film preview. Attack the weaknesses, not feed the ball to Ronald Jones. Let's go away from that.
yep,
And then, in the second half, they make adjustments. They start running the football. They start throwing the play action pass to Rob Gronkowski, which we said would be wide open.
yep.
So there's just little things that they continue to ignore that could, benefit them. Defensively, I thought they did a much better job in the second half. They changed some things up. They still allowed some things, but they did a much better job of taking things away, being aggressive, getting after Patrick Mahomes. And, they were fortunate to get turnovers when they did get turnovers, especially that forced fumble early. That prevented a touchdown. That really could have sealed the deal. But they held him in check, and then hold him to field goals when they did, I think was really big. So defensively, you can't really get mad at because the offense had just too many times where they went three and out, especially in the first half. You had opportunities third and short on many of occasions, and we're doing dumb, just dumb plays in general, or not, not reading the hot route, or not doing this, or not doing that. So it was all sorts of excuses that came up into play. But when they started playing their game and they played with tempo and they used Ronald Jones
Ooh,
when they did, and not use Leonard Fournette, who was just a waste. And especially in the second half, to start the second half, I mean, use them two times in a row on that goal line situation. That was just stupid, especially as Ronald Jones, who got you where you got you down the field. Obviously you had the big play to Gronkowski, but use your best players at that time. They didn't. Had to sell for three, but the other touchdowns were good. Again, Ronald Jones gets you on the board, and they have Mike Evans with his touchdowns. So there are some good things, but again, just coming up short per usual because of this coaching staff getting in
yeah.
their own way, and then players, not executing properly like they should. So again, I'm not concerned about it. 7-5 is still good. So we just got to continue to get better.
Yeah, I'll touch on these questions in the chat real quick before. Well, actually, let me touch on what you said. We don't
Mhm.
run the ball. We said to literally our only words were they're not going to do what we tell them to do. They're going to be their own system. We literally
Mhm.
said that in the game preview. Like this is
Right.
how we would attack them. They did the exact opposite what we would have done as fans. This is just based of going of what they're weak on. We
Mhm.
didn't attack any weaknesses when we did. They did very very well. We ran the ball a grand total of 12 times against a team that was I think in the bottom 5 in stopping the
Mhm.
run. That's a recipe for shit, for a better term. So
Oh,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
losing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
recipe for
losing football.
losing. Yeah.
They are so blind into thinking if they run their offense the way they're supposed to do it, they're going to win. Instead of
Mhm.
forcing the defense to play in a position they don't want to. Attacking
Right.
weaknesses is what you should do. Smart people do it. I mean, and then how many
Mhm.
times did we show the RPOs that the Chiefs do all the time? It was just simple reading the middle of our defense, which our middle linebackers are piss poor at zone
Mhm.
coverage. So it was simple. It made reads easier for the quarterback. This offense makes reads harder for the quarterback. No motion, no play action, very little play action.
Yeah.
So what do you expect? But let's get over to the questions. Hardcore Hero says, please tell me all of the tension behind the scenes I'm hearing about is all being blown out of proportion. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll let you address that first. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, repeat it.
Tension behind the scenes, is all that being blown out of proportion or is there a fact to it?
I mean, there's always going to be some type of tension, especially when you're losing football games. Um, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think again, this team is, I think, much needed of a bye week to definitely recruit, rest and recover and get everything back on track and really figure out what the issue is and hopefully play with what they did in the late second quarter and then early second half, especially on offense, and realize that you can take advantage of the short routes and the opportunities that are available in the middle of the field and attack different ways. So then on defense, I thought, just continue what you did in the second half. I think you'll be okay. Find ways to continue to pressure the quarterback. That's the big key. Play aggressive in coverage. That's what works for this team.
Well,
So
enough on scheming. Let's address the question.
yeah,
Was
I'm
it blown out
sorry.
of you go on tangents. I'm like, plus, cut it in half. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
All
Short
right.
answer, no. Yeah, there you go.
I had to. Okay, so to be honest, yeah, losing is going to stir this crap up. Brady never loses, and now he's feeling what losing's all about. BA is being blind into saying, "Oh, we just got to keep running the same things." That's also blind. I mean, it's you just can't keep going in with the same approach and think it's going to work. I mean, on ESPN, Dan Orlovsky, I think is how it goes. He said this is the definition of insanity: is what the Bucs offense is. They keep pushing the same agenda, and it keeps not working early on because all defenses know what they're going to do. That's pretty much what we've been saying for a couple of years now, even in the Cutter years. So it's sad to see, sad to hear other media outlets saying it too, but it is what it is. Will there be changes? I highly doubt it. Some people expect us to be like the Saints and change our offense totally to a short passing game or change into Brady's offense. That's not going to happen. You just hope they add a little bit of wrinkles of like play action, which they've done before plenty of times. They all of a sudden stop doing it because they're running. You're not running the damn ball. Run the ball more. There you go. That's going to help your quarterback out. Let's go to the next question. Raymond, he said, why are the playmakers so hard headed? Please address this. Can we actually attack an opponent's weakness? No. Instead, just doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I think I just answered it, Raymond, but plus touch on it more.
No, you answered it. I have nothing else to add.
I mean, but that's the thing. You guys come on here every week. Thank you very much for it. We just kind of drill home the same repetitive stuff, and it's insane to us too. Like
Mhm.
if we could see it as average fans, and I love the Twitter people who are out there saying, "Oh, how far did you coach? How far? Where did you scout?" I'm like, you don't have to be a scout. You can be a casual fan, but a super fan, and really love the game and look at it and
Mhm.
see, why am I seeing the same thing over and over again? It's just patterns.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking at in this. Are they doing the same thing over and over? Is this formation going to mean this same thing? You don't have to be a pro's pro to be able to see what's coming. Then there's stats all over the place. Analytics helps you make decisions too. If you're going to be a dinosaur and keep doing the same crap, you're going to be a dinosaur and you're going to be extinct. So what the hell do you expect? It's not hard, but like people think it's the Bucs are beating themselves over and over, and that's all it is, plain and simple.
Mhm.
And I'm glad they're getting the bashing they are getting. Hopefully that opens their eyes a little bit, and I can't wait to hear this week Byron Leftwich saying the same old bullcrap. We're gonna put our players in a position to be successful in the
they
best
might
possible position.
they might not have him talk this week just because it's a bye, on a bye week. So
Yeah, yeah,
they'll
yeah.
they'll try to cover him up because you have coaches that believe, just because you're down 17-0, you can't use play action, which is
Oh
just
God.
ridiculous, beyond ridiculous. You can run play action all game. You have teams out there that do it consistently.
Yeah.
You can run play action anytime you want. You don't have to stop
Let's
just because the score is what it is.
let's see this. So look at what our average was for running the game. 9 rushes, terrible. This should have been double what it is. 66 yards, 7 yards per average. We could run the ball. What could the Chiefs do? 11 carries, 37 yards, 3.4 average. I'm not sure. I think I heard this. They had 17 play action passes.
Mhm.
17. And I think we had 5 and Brady was 4 or 5 on it. They had 17 play action passes with an off of rushing a running back, 37 yards, 3.4 average. That's
Mm.
not that good.
No.
But guess what? They did it consistently to drive in our linebackers. Every time I just saw the first half of the coach's film. Mahomes literally his RPOs, play action, he wasn't looking at the running back. He was looking right at Devin White. He's like, oh, there's my bitch. And you just throw it right at him. Because if you're going to bite in, I'm going to attack the lane that you're missing. It's
Yeah.
that simple. Helping your quarterback make reads that are easier. Not making it harder. Oh, let's wait 30 yards down the field, then make them throw it.
Mhm.
It's blind. But the thing is,
Yeah.
again, we're 7-5. This is the best record we've been this late in the season in a while. So I'm not
Mhm.
totally upset, but I'm not upset because I expected some of this. Like you can't.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm waiting to see change.
there's still a lot of positives to
Yeah,
pull from yesterday, and definitely the second half was much better in how they attacked it, both offensively and defensively. But there's just little things that they definitely have to clean up. Going empty on third and short, that's just it blows my mind. Like why they continue to do that.
3rd and 2.
If you're going to do that, you have to make sure you read it correctly and hit Cameron Braid over the middle of the field, or hit guys that are open and not force it to coverage. So there's got to be different ways they can utilize that. They did no motion whatsoever, so they have to
Yeah,
utilize these things in better ways. But there were still positives to build on. Brady got into rhythm. The defense held the Chiefs to 7 points in the second half, so that was nice. Even though Tyreek Hill, destroyed them in the first half, but you know, it's hard to stop a team like that because they have so many weapons to deal with, and they use them the right way. And then you have a playmaker in Mahomes who just backs up 20 yards and can throw a rocket like it's no tomorrow. So yeah, still there's upside for this team, and you got 4 games left against winnable opponents, and hopefully we can take care of business.
oh, that's the bright side. I'm
Mm,
guaranteeing we're going to win all 4 games. They're lesser opponents. We've beaten every team that has been a lesser opponent that doesn't have a good
mm,
defense. None of these have good defenses. That
right.
is an outlier. That 46-3 that the Falcons beat the
Oh, that was
Raiders.
ridiculous. Like
I don't.
that was just
There's no way in hell the Raiders had to have walked into that game thinking, "Oh, we got this."
yeah, they were definitely sleepwalking for sure.
There's no way that happens. But I think they will run the table. Hopefully you make the playoffs, and then you're ready. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
But
anything can happen in the
but
playoffs for sure.
let's continue that. So about Tyreek Hill's insane performance in the first half. To be honest, I got crap for this in on Twitter during the game too.
Mhm.
They asked Davis to man him up a lot of the times.
Oh yeah,
That's
he's been in
hard
a
as hell
tough
to do. Okay.
tough spot.
And some of the catches that he had,
We're
how the
great.
hell could you have defended it? It was perfect. Some of
Yeah.
them were literally Colton Davis is right on his hip. The ball's thrown. As he's turning his head, it's going behind his head, going into Tyreek Hill's hands.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do? It's
Yeah,
like he's
can't
supposed to magically know it's behind his head and just or run like this the whole time. Run like this full speed. Let's see if that's
Yeah,
possible for anyone. You can't.
no,
Some of
it's
them
hard.
were hard. And then the first big 75-yard touchdown, I blame that one on Winfield. You're
Mm.
the single deep safety. If my boy's beat, you got to be there to grab his ass, like literally help him out. And you didn't do that at
Yeah.
all. So some
Yeah,
of this, it's
they
good.
played single high a lot in the
Yeah.
first half. I don't know why they did that. I think they changed it more in the second half. They went more cover 2 look, I
Yeah.
believe, and that's something that they probably should have done to begin with. Make sure you don't let these guys get behind you. Still play aggressive though to your nature, but obviously they figured that out in the second half. They're like, we're not gonna let him, go for 400 yards here, all by himself.
Yeah. He had 200 in the first half.
Yeah.
Insane. All right, guys, if you're in the chat, you haven't done it yet because I'm looking at it. Make sure to hit that like button down below. It helps out. Support the channel. You're gonna do it just because you're a great Buck fan. You're a good fan of the show. But on that, let's keep going. There's a lot more in the chat. Let's go. Raymond said Ronald Jones has been the best Bucks player for quite a while now. There, I said it. I don't know about all that. Uh,
I think he definitely needs the ball more. That's for sure.
yeah,
He
that's the
doesn't
damn true.
he doesn't get it enough. I think he can definitely help the offense, and obviously the offense is at its best when he is involved. It's same thing with Rob Gronkowski. If he's getting the touches early, then the offense does well. If it doesn't happen, then we see what happens.
Trash.
It doesn't work out.
Yeah, I agree. Rojo just needs more touches. Get him the ball. Like, then there's another thing that BA said in his
Comes
press
out today,
conference today.
he says he's gonna feed him.
No, not only that, but he said, "Oh, but I thought we stuck to our game plan early and we continue to do it." What the hell was the game plan?
He doesn't know.
A team that was bottom five in stopping the run or close
Mhm.
to it, and you just nope, nope. 3rd and 2,
Uh,
spread out, buddy. Make it 5 wide. We got this. Don't give them an illusion of a run. We got it.
there was no commitment to a game plan.
No, if I don't know what the game plan was, and then they just take no blame for it. Let's see, Hardcore Hero. Yeah, I felt like we ended on an optimistic note with being able to come back in the second half, especially considering we were playing the 9-1 defending champs. Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate both ways. Yeah, we came back. Defense did their job. They stopped them. How much of that is just because they're playing prevent because they're up
Mm,
20-7? Like, oh, let's just not give them too much, but we'll let them in.
mhm,
Some of that maybe that. Maybe it's just the I don't know. The Mahomes not wanting to force anything on offense.
mhm,
I'll say this: front four, they did get pressure in. Mahomes is just an insane animal sometimes. Like
mhm,
I put it on Twitter. He did one of those little sidearm shortstop passes that
mhm.
went on a rope like 15 yards, like just on a line. And I'm like, God, that's not fair.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
even the play to pretty much finish the game, 3rd and 7, where he's gonna run and then he throws it
mm,
last second, to I think it was Tyreek Hill. It's just like crazy.
yeah,
Like you can't stop that. That's hard.
yeah, because you're asking. That was the biggest thing: containment. That's what we
Hmm.
showed in the previews. Guys, if you like our previews, keep liking it, commenting, tell us if we're doing a good job, bad job. We like your feedback. We try and do better every time. It's just we feel that what we see is literally what we see every Sunday, and we just can't believe that the
Hmm.
Bucs don't see the same thing and adjust to it. It's not like they're doing anything crazy different. The Rams game is the same way. They're doing
Hmm.
the same things they've been doing all year, but the Bucs seem like they just didn't film study, or sometimes they do. On
Hmm.
defense, sometimes offensively they don't know what the hell they're doing. At times,
Well,
it's blindly attacking is what it is. Brett M
mhm.
said, "I've been on the Division 1 level and coach at the highest high school level with what they are doing. That offense is so predictable and stupid." Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Brett. I
Yeah,
agree. Thank
yeah.
you, Brett.
And there's the coach right there.
There's a coach right
He
there. He played at
who's saying
the
it.
Division 1 level, and he's coached at the highest high school level. Thank you.
Mm,
He says, "I just think the addition of AB is actually hurting the offense. But call me crazy. Chemistry is everything."
mm,
I agree with that. I mean, chemistry is everything. Do I
mm.
necessarily think AB is the reason why it's gone down? Someone made that a point earlier in the week. I forgot who it was, but I don't know. I mean, it's still you attack weaknesses.
Mhm.
Just because AB is on the field doesn't mean you forget about Gronk against a piss poor linebacker crew, or the fact that they can't stop the run.
Right.
How does AB stop you from running the ball? I or at least throw him little screens or like I don't know. Like some things that this offense does makes no sense. You want to touch on that really quick or
No, you nailed it. I
uh,
mean, I don't think it affects the offense much. I mean, but what he said as far as the offense being stupid, yes, he's right.
yeah. He kind of touched on other things that thankfully they adjusted, but the coaching staff needs to work on a lot of things. We gifted the Super Bowl champs 17-0 and only lost by 3. And that's
Mm,
the biggest positive out of this.
yeah,
You didn't let it get too out of hand. You kept it close, and you still could have won the damn game.
yeah.
And then Brett, he said, "Please put Colton Davis in a position to win." Don't say that.
Mm.
That's almost weird words over here. Uh, yeah, made it. I mean, but let's touch on a couple things. So defensively, first half. I mean, let's look at the scoring chart. How this kind of ended up. This stopping them for 3 was huge. I mean, Colton Davis came
Mhm.
up big. Devin White fell on that pass that Travis Kelsey did to Pat Mahomes.
Mhm.
Colton Davis had to cover Travis Kelsey and Mahomes and somehow knocks the ball down. That was a
Right.
great individual effort by him. Devin White stumbling, bumbling, fumbling, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
I just can't believe one, two,
Yeah.
3, and 4 in a row. And
Yeah.
like we were mentioning,
Yeah, that one play for 75 yards. I mean, again, that's
yeah,
just a great play by Mahomes and Hill. But yeah, the first drive, it started off well. You're excited. You're like 5 yard run, okay, 12-yard pass, and then a 4 yard run, and then we try to do the deep ball to Mike Evans, and then there's like the
drops it.
controversy. Well, there's controversy. Should he have caught it? Should this or that? I don't know. It looked like it's a tough play. It looked like, but
Went through his
I don't know.
hands.
Did it go through his hands? I
Yeah,
don't know. I thought it was like at a weird angle, but on that play, you had Braid open over the middle. I thought they should have went there, but again, just didn't really commit to that run game. And same thing on the second drive there, for the punt.
yeah,
So,
yeah. The run game, lack of run game that we
mhm,
never do is the biggest issue for me.
mhm,
Secondly, yes, Tom Brady isn't playing at the highest level of levels right now. Some of his passes are great. Some of them, some of the
mhm,
reads, to me, I'm like, maybe he's just forcing it or just not getting into it. That's another thing I wanted to kind of touch on.
mhm,
We've mentioned it before. These are the better teams where you're going to have to be playing at your highest levels. This is a guy that just came from 20 years of one system, is now being forced into another, had no off season to practice to get
mhm,
continuity with the team, like Brett was mentioning with the chemistry. Stuff that you would normally have, he hasn't had. Yes, and there were some where on that deep pass that you're talking about, or on the
mhm,
incompletion after to Mike Evans,
mhm.
Antonio Brown did a little rub route
Yeah, he was open too.
wide open. And I'm like, all you
Mhm.
needed was what, 3 yards in that play?
Well, 6.
6 or whatever. He was going to be wide open. So it's
Mhm,
like little things like that. I guarantee you, he's like, damn it. What? Just
mhm,
go to the second read immediately. So I think it's a little bit of everything. It's dumb play calls and situations you don't need to be calling deep passes. Then it's just the quarterback not helping the matter because he's not reading it correctly.
mhm.
Which, guys, if you want to get mad at me for saying Brady needs to do better, then get mad. Either way, he threw 2 interceptions. We lost the
Right.
Rams game because of that too. So it's not
I
all on the
I
play calling.
I think, yeah, it's everyone involved. Everyone involved needs to be better, but the play calling can help Brady out. Brady can do better by executing it the right way. There's got to be things they can do to find ways to get Brady into a rhythm. When he
Yeah.
gets into a rhythm, that's when he's at his best. We saw that in the second quarter on the Rojo touchdown drive. He got into a rhythm. They found ways to get completions, run the football as well,
Was that a play
utilize the
action pass?
play action pass, and then
It
the
was
same thing
funny.
in the second half. That's what they did. So they just have to do better ways of getting him in rhythm early to start off these football games and not fall behind.
That's the biggest thing. 4 consecutive punts. That's
Yeah.
losing football. You gave the team a 17-point lead. You didn't
Mhm.
move it at all. Like that. What did you expect the defense to happen? I guess probably one of the best offenses in the game right now.
Right.
With
They're
all those
gonna score.
weapons, you expected them to keep holding on 4 consecutive times? No.
Mhm.
I thought it'd be a more of a high shootout game, but no. They do the usual. Let's keep going down the line. So let's see. Outside leverage live stream. The head coach said he needs more carries, like he's not in control of making decisions. Talking about Rojo.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean that's coach's call. I mean he should be able to enforce his power and say, "Hey, get this guy the football." Like it's really not that hard. It's a game plan that they go over weekly. And now he's saying, Tom Brady's in full control. He's the one who picks the plays and blah, 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 this and that. Well, you know, you got to find a way with a better balanced game plan that's going to make sure you don't have 4 punts in the first half, right in a row and you're down 17 nothing and then forget about the play action pass because you're down said 17 nothing. So a lot of things need to be worked out over this bye week. I hope that's what's going to take place, and we can win football games against teams that we should beat. Um, really, we should be 8-4 or 9-3, but again, that's a
Yeah,
different story
yeah, the Bears
because
game too.
yeah. So we just it's all the same story with all these losses that we've seen so far. Outside of the first game against the Saints, I kind of expected we all lose that one, but The other four, it's all been the same thing, slow starts, whether it be offensively, against the Bears, there's the second half offense that sputtered defensively. Um, you know, mixed bag with them kind of. At least they kind of find their way, but then they're still inconsistent too. So just a bag of inconsistency. It's got to be better.
All right, so here there's a lot of good questions actually in the chat right now. So someone
All
asks,
right, keep them coming.
"Do you
Keep them
blame
coming.
do you blame this loss on Tom Brady?"
Oh no, it's a team loss. Offensively, defensively, it's a team loss.
Yeah, overall, yeah, because to be honest, if the defense actually would have come up with that one stop with 4 minutes left,
Hmm.
Tom Brady, with the way he was getting that momentum going, you
Yeah,
never
we
know,
probably find a way to score.
right? At
Yep.
least get a field goal to take it to overtime, I would think.
Right. Right.
But so just coming to that point, yes. But then again, if you have 17-point deficit, that's on the defense as well. You're allowing those points, even though the offense isn't doing anything to move the ball. So it's
Hmm.
not just Brady's fault.
Yeah.
Execution, that's based off all the players. Play calling, that's based off coaches. I mean, it's just everywhere you can think of on this team. Yes, against lesser opponents, they do well because little mistakes can be made up for. But against a good team that can make you force issues because now you're down 17 so fast, it's
Hmm.
different. It's a different story. So
Yeah.
you can't blame it all on Brady. Like, it's a lot of things that need to be fixed. A lot of
Hmm.
areas where they can be fixed, but it's do they do it? Outside Leverage live stream said chemistry in week 11 is a bad excuse. Any chemistry issue is self inflicted.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I agree with that and I don't agree with that, but touch on that.
Well, I agree as far as saying it's an excuse. It shouldn't be. Um, you should be in full rhythm by now. I mean, and I see what he's saying. It's a week 11 exactly. You should be rock and roll, or week 12. It really is, but you should have all things clicking by now, or at least have plays that damn well is going to work consistently, and have your bread and butter plays. And it just
Yeah.
seems like this team doesn't have it right now. They can't find one play that's going to work every single time, and that's a problem. So I understand what he's saying, and I know Robert Green. He wants certain things to happen with the coaching staff, and
Yeah.
and I'm on the same page with him, because it is the same problem since going back to Dirk Cutter. Like, this is feeling like Dirk Cutter 2.0, really. The way they get in their own way. So, and everyone who talks with me knows I was all for Eric Bieniemy, but
Yeah.
that's probably not going to happen.
As a Gator fan, Dan Mullen, come on in. No, I'm joking.
Dan
But
Mullen wouldn't be bad. He knows how to attack
uh,
weaknesses. So,
yeah, he uses different weapons every week, it seems like. But we have a coach right now. So speaking of that coach, well, let me touch on the chemistry thing.
mhm,
My only thing with chemistry is Tom Brady being the one outlier. He didn't have preseason. He didn't have much of time of anything. It's kind of hard to do that. Yes, the coaches need to make it easier. They
mhm,
need to help with that chemistry by giving him his bread and butter, like you were touching on. And
right.
maybe that's what he's mentioning as well, like self inflicted, because these coaches aren't saying, what do you really like? What do you know you like to do? Let's call that on a third down, or let's call that on a situation where you love to throw it.
Mhm,
The Gronk screen needs to be called at least once a game. If not to Gronk, to Brate. Like, get
mhm.
in, like, at least. And Gronk needs to have at least 5 to 8 targets every game. Rojo needs at least bare minimum 15 carries. If I ever see 9 again, that's pathetic. Downright pathetic.
Yeah.
So there's things that they need to get worked on. I mean, stop. Maybe that is the AB thing. We need to get AB more targets. If that's the case, then drop him. I mean, this is ridiculous. The fact that
Mhm.
they don't know how to manage players, if it's because of personality saying I want the ball, get the hell out of here. Coaches are supposed to coach, players play. Do your job. That's all it
Mhm.
is. And if that's what you mean by self inflicted, the coaches aren't helping out the players establish a chemistry. Okay, I agree with you then. This one I want to jump to. Chris D said Jake Arians appeared on Loose Cannons podcast and did everything but blame coaching for this team's woes.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, obviously he's the coach's son, so I mean, he's not going to blame the coaches. I mean, that's just the way it is going to be. I mean, he's going to put the onus on the players. And I mean, to an extent, it is on the players. I mean, players go out there, they got to make the plays, they got to execute. Um, and right now they're just not getting it done. But at the same time, coaching does matter, and it's a big thing in this week to week league that you have to find ways to exploit matchups. And it just seems like this team doesn't do a good job of it, and it's something that we continue to repeat. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So let me play this clip. So plus you're not gonna be able to hear it, but I'll
It's
play
okay.
it for everyone else and I'll describe it to you later.
The fans are who
Yeah,
matters.
that's true. Here we go. Take a peek at see Chris Godwin talking about the problems and execution and that they know what the problem is. This is something we never heard with Dirk Cutter. So take a listen.
We recognize what like where the problems are. We just have to do a better job of executing when the game actually comes. And I think the biggest thing though is that as a team, we're all still together. I think we're all still pulling the rope in the same direction, and I think those are going to be the things that really allow us to propel moving forward.
I think that's a big thing. So he said they know what the problems are. They know where they need to be. They know they're he feels they're all in the same way pulling towards the same goal, like
Mhm,
pulling towards the same direction. And they know what the problem is. You never heard that with Cutter. He would say, I don't know, multiple times.
mhm.
I like hearing that. I mean, it's not like the whole locker room's gone to shit. I mean, someone was asking that earlier if it's overblown. Maybe it is because if players are saying stuff like this, they
Mhm.
know that they're not executing to the way they should be.
Yeah, it's a strong locker room. I think they'll be okay. I think they will figure it out. And I think the players, I think, should be taking more control, and maybe they'll have more control going forward, and you know, get a better flow in these last 4 games of the season, and hopefully they can get on a streak. And usually the hottest team going into the playoffs has the best
Yeah,
chance. So hopefully that's us. We can fix things, get things right, get healthy too. That's a big thing. Getting Ali Marpet and Donovan Smith healthy, and all the guys pretty much rested and ready to go. That'll be a big plus going forward. And maybe we found something in a Khalil Davis. Him
yeah,
rushing the passer. It seemed like he had ability to win one on ones, and hopefully we see him more in there because it seemed like he could do some things.
yeah. I really like seeing him in later in the game. He was even in the first half. So I mean, there's moments where he did shine. Give him more reps and let's see what he can become.
Mhm,
This is a late round pick, but he's known for his speed. So and in the inside, I'll take it.
mhm,
But I mean, about the coaching thing, if your players aren't prepared, I mean, to me, if you start off that slow every week,
mhm.
that's just being not prepared. And what are you going to call that Saints demolition that they did of us? Is that all on players, or did they were not prepared? I mean, if you sit back and let Breeze read you, that's terrible coaching.
Mhm.
And even to me, like, why aren't you running? And you said you ran your game plan. That's bad coaching.
Yeah,
Like, you didn't see that they're bad at stopping the run, and they're usually in the lead, and they still or bad at stopping the run. So I don't know.
yeah.
So you would think teams aren't running on them because they're usually in the lead. But hey, we'll see. We'll see truly if coaches coach better with a whole week to game plan. If they lose to the Vikings, all hell's gonna break loose. All hell will break
Yeah,
loose.
it's gonna be bad. I mean, it's a great matchup for them. I mean, Dalvin Cook, that's your main guy you gotta stop, and then,
What do we do
just
good?
yeah,
Or what do we
and
do
then just
well? Forgive me.
yeah, and then just hit Kirk Cousins, and he'll get scared, and you should be fine.
And it's true. That should be a primer for us getting confidence moving forward.
Mhm.
Hardcore Hero said, "How much do you love Romo finally calling a Bucks game? He was always so enlightening for the casual football fan. I would have had no idea that Mike Evans was supposed to switch to the hot route." Yeah, we were actually talking about that prior to
Mhm.
the live stream. Yeah, about the damn rusher comes in, safety
Mhm.
comes in, you got to move to space. You don't
Mhm.
run into the only player that's sitting there in that gap,
Yeah, right, right. The linebacker.
right? The linebacker there. So
But
Brady,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Romo's a godsend. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
he knows every play before it happens. I mean, he was basically calling every play. I mean, that's what he does. He's really good at that. He should be somewhere coaching in this league as far as NFL or even being in upper management. I wouldn't not be mad at all if the Bucks found a way to get him on the staff or something. I mean, guy's just very smart. He knows the game and he calls it really well.
He does.
And he gets paid a bunch, so I don't think he's going
Yeah.
anywhere.
He's stress free right now. Let him enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why Gruden's going through all this again. Even though you love him. You love him in the game. Like he's something
Oh,
else.
Gruden's a mastermind, man. I mean, he's making Derek Carr look, MVP. Obviously, they had a bad game, yesterday, but I mean, Derek Carr's playing his best football.
Mm. So Christy had another question. The offense should legit not throw a pass over 15 yards the first drive. Lock it up. Make it a taboo. Let the offense get into the rhythm first with the short game and the run. What's your
Hey,
answer?
that's a great strategy. I'm all for it
I like it, Cotton.
yeah, I like it. It's a bold strategy. I think it'll pay off for him. But yeah, I think that would be the way to go.
You've said it multiple times before, and we try and say this on the game previews or just in our film studies in general.
Mhm.
The sequencing is just really bad, and
Yeah.
that goes on coaching. You can't be giving away your plays before you even say hike. You can't literally just force a deep ball. Start making them creep up on you. Everyone knows we want to throw the deep ball. Yeah, of course. And I'm okay with the system. To be honest, like there are people open. It is, but Romo made the big point. It's harder to complete a ball that far down the field because you have to be that much more accurate. So there's a whole lot more room where someone can make a mistake.
Yeah.
So it is harder to complete. True fact. But the thing is, make it easier on the quarterback and on that player to catch the ball by giving the illusion it could go another place. That's all we have ever asked. Start attacking the middle so people more creep inside because all we do is hit the outsides. That's all we do. We never attack the middle of the field. We start attacking the middle, people will start creeping towards the middle.
Right.
So then
it was
hitting
open all day yesterday.
Right? Hitting Gronk was open all damn day.
Yeah.
We stopped
Same
doing
thing
it.
with Braid open over the middle. You had Godwin open over the middle.
But some of those were mistimed. Like the Brate pass, I don't know if Brate doesn't turn around fast enough or Brady threw it too early. That goes right through his arms. Turnover or not turnover downs, 3 and out. The other one, Chris Godwin, same place, went right in the middle. Was it too fast? Was it too early? We don't necessarily know who went a yard too fast or threw the ball a half second too early. You don't know. So either way, the timing is off, execution is off. There are areas where if they just make one simple catch here or there or don't tip the ball in the air, they're there in the end game, but they're not doing that right now. It seems like it's like a young team, but you're led by a 20-year vet and supposedly a QB whisperer. So it's troubling. It's upsetting almost. Fred F said defense and bowls are overrated.
Well,
What's your
I mean,
thoughts?
yeah, things aren't working out for him. I mean, they miss Vita Vea badly. I mean, his presence in the middle, I mean, it opens up everything as far as the A gap blitzes. And right now, that's not really working, consistently as it was early in the season. The coverage and the pass rush are just a little bit off as far as working together hand in hand. Better at times, especially in the the second half where they found ways to get off the field, but it's just not there consistently. And it was troubling to see the cover one looks that they were presenting in the first half, especially with Tyreek Hill and his deadly speed. That was just troubling. He didn't have a cover two look until the second half. So
I mean, I think this defense, because someone was saying, why do we wait for the second half to make adjustments? That's where good defense coordinator should come out hot. To be honest, they stopped the Chiefs for 3-on-1 on the first possession. Then they forced them to a punt in the second one.
That was
and
big.
Then, so that right there are 2 wins to me in general.
And then they just got tired.
Yeah, and then you get tired because 3 consecutive, boom, 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 and then now the Chiefs one pass play where one field is out of place, 75-yard touchdown. So it looks like our defense is shit, but in reality, it was one big play with a guy out of place against one of the fastest receivers, probably the fastest in the NFL right now. So you can't call them shit. They're not bad. I'm gonna say that,
because really, when you look at it, the offense should have scored some points. I
Yeah,
mean, and
or at
maybe
least
you're
held
only
on to the ball.
right, and then at worst, maybe it's 17-10 or something like that, and then you're looking at a different picture, or maybe it's 10-13 because the defense was able to get some rest. So there's a lot of things that play into it, but yeah, I think defense is definitely not garbage, and Todd Bowles is not overrated.
Yeah, and what's funny is that they just start locking you down later in
Mhm,
the game. It's can they get rest to play the game that they need to play? Yes,
mhm,
they can make stops. We've seen them make stops against great quarterbacks.
right.
I mean, look what they did to Aaron Rodgers. They could have done the same thing against the Chiefs too if the offense could have made some moves, consistently move the ball, give the defense some rest to actually have the coach sit there and say, "Look, this is what they're running." Because the coaches are coaching on the sideline too, looking at the plays after they get off the field. If
Mhm.
literally it's 3 and out, we gotta go back on. I just got my Gatorade. Now I gotta put my helmet back on. It sucks, and you didn't breathe. You didn't learn anything. You just had to get back out there. So it's harder on a defense too if there's no offensive movement, or at least
Mhm,
holding up, running the ball a little bit to wear the clock out,
right.
not putting the ball in the hands so fast and into the league MVP Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
Let's keep going on. So Hardcore Hero had another one. He says, "What do you guys think the chances are that Brady rounds into his usual December playoff form? Do you think he can round into it? I mean, especially with this offense and the way they're inconsistent.
Uh,
Do you think
I
he can
think
do it?"
they have the blueprint. I mean, they know what needs to be done as far as what it will take to be successful, and I think Tom Brady knows he can definitely get into that form. And there's a lot of things that they can take away from yesterday and just put that into the game plan. I'm seeing on here, yeah, down 17-0 in the first quarter, and that shouldn't stop you from continuing to run the football. There's a lot of things they just got to commit to something. They have to build an identity and stick with it. Use the run game, use the play action more often, use your tight ends, and then you can go to your big studs and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, because guess what? They'll be open down the field, and you'll have a pocket you can hit them with because you're using said play action and running the football.
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do yes. I agree with you on damn near every point. I'm gonna play this way. If these players come up with certain catches, I mean, to be honest, Cam Brate, if he would have caught that ball, would have been a first down. Chains keep moving. Chris Godwin hits one hand, catches that. Chains keep moving.
Mhm.
There are areas where they're just not executing as players. They're not executing.
Right.
Maybe the coaching staff doesn't look as terrible if they catch these certain balls.
Mhm.
Let's just be honest. And like I was touching earlier, if we stop them with 4 minutes left, we get the ball back. I almost think Tom Brady, with the way he was rolling the ball,
Mhm.
we score at least a field
Right.
goal. So I mean,
Mhm.
even though I hate the times when they put 5 wide on a 3rd and 2, or don't give no illusion to a run,
Mhm.
some of the calls are dumb. I agree, but some of them they just work. Some areas that Brady's missing that are open, which I touched on with the AB, or you touched on Brady across the middle. There's areas there to attack.
Mhm.
This defense wasn't the best, but there were areas to attack in the Rams game as well.
Yep.
I think it's just call me crazy. It could be a perfect storm between all of them. Brady having to understand what's going on, feed all these weapons. BA just not adapting well to what's going on, even though they are calling, or Leftwich calling, somewhat of an okay game just to win a game. Well, I don't
Mhm.
want to just win a game. I want to take over damn games, take advantage of mismatches and weaknesses. That's just the only thing we don't see consistently,
Right.
and that we have issues with. Could it? Could we be winning games? Yeah, but a lot harder than it should be. I guess I kind of went on a tangent on that one, but so I guess this brings it to this one. Net can't can't pronounce the name necessarily, but he said, "Is BA the problem?" Kind
This
of
be the
goes off of the
problem.
other one.
Well, I'm not going to say that. Again, I think you're right. It's a combination of everything. I think everything needs to be better as far as execution, play calling, sequencing. defensively has to be more better execution. Guys have to win their one-on-one matchups. That's not happening consistently. So there's a lot of things that go into it. I think the bye week comes at a perfect time for this team. You're sitting at 7-5. I believe we're still in a playoff position,
Yeah.
not mistaken. So,
Oh yeah.
we're in the 6 or 7 spot, wherever that is, but we're still in a good spot. So you have an opportunity with 4 games left. Let's just focus on Minnesota at hand because that's the next game. So they have a whole week to prepare and get this thing right and really take advantage of a Minnesota team that has been playing better, but you should still be able to, you know, do what you can and win the game. So I'm not going to say BA is every problem on this team. It's not correct. So yeah, to answer that shortly, no, he's not the problem.
He's a problem.
He's one of the problems, but he's not every problem.
No, just say it. He's a problem. So let's look at the
Yeah.
playoff picture. So they are number 6 right now. And to be honest, people are like, oh, we ain't make the playoffs. That would mean we'd have to lose this Vikings game. We'd have to.
Right. And a lot of other
And
teams would have to
still,
win.
yeah. So, I mean, I still don't see these two. We're not going to lose 2 more than these guys.
Right. And
Like,
and who will we play right now? I think the Packers, correct?
who?
For the 6th seed, we play the number 3 seed, whoever that is. So the Packers
Seahawks.
or Seahawks. Okay. Well, that'd be a fun matchup.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. So yeah,
Scary
I think
one.
we're still. Yeah, I don't think it's that scary. I mean, with their offensive line and
True.
defensively, it would be a fun game. But yeah, we're still in a very good position. So again, it's all in our hands. You take advantage. You finish 11-5, and you might be right up there with the 3rd or 4th seed, or maybe 5th seed. Well, we could only finish, I think, 5 because we have to be a division winner. So
Yeah.
yeah, highest we could go is 5, but still, you would set yourself up nicely.
You hope you get to 5 so you face the Giants, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah,
whatever,
rematch.
whoever wins that NFC East.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, if we don't make the playoffs, that would be the biggest shock to me. And the
Yeah,
position they're in
definitely
right now,
definitely disappointment.
and that's another silver lining. I mean, guys, we're upset just because we're not winning the way we think we should be winning. Either
Mhm.
way, we're winning games. We're above 500 right now. When was the last time we were this late in the season? We're above 500. We were
Mhm.
7-3 2 games ago.
Right.
On the high horse. Oh, we got this. Super Bowl champ. We're going to the ship. Everyone thought that. But
Right.
then, okay, we played 2 damn good teams. Yes, the Rams got beat by the 49ers. Okay, but
Mhm.
either
And
way, their defense is
the
good.
Saints as well. Saints, Rams, and Chiefs. That's your last 3 losses. Those are all very good teams. And you have a team that is still very young on defense. The secondary is still learning and growing each game. Offensively, you don't really know what you are, which is sad. But again, they're working towards it. They're trying to find it. And you got the most important month of the season coming up in December. That's where playoff teams are made. And hopefully this team can finish strong and go at least 3 or 4-0 in the last quarter. So
I would
that's
expect 4-0. And people are like, oh, there's
at
no
the
way we'll
very
beat.
worst, you go 3-1. You finish 10-6, and you're still in a very good position.
I see it as this way. The Falcons are going to be playing for a pick. They're just going to, at the end, probably just crumble and like, no, just this time tell Todd Gurley if it's an opportunity to get down or score a touchdown, get the hell in there so the other team can score.
I don't know about that. I mean, Raheem Morris, he's going to have his team playing hard.
Well, they can't get out of their own way. I guess we can't either. But
Yeah.
I think no matter what, we're going to make the playoffs, bearing an ultimate meltdown. And I don't think it's going to happen with Brady at quarterback. He just wouldn't let it happen. And they'll find ways. Again, they're not facing any juggernauts coming forward. So we do well against non-playoff teams or below 500 teams. Let's get a couple more before we got 10 minutes here. Raymond's back. He said, what did the Chiefs do in the last 4 minutes? They knew they didn't want to give the ball back to Brady. They knew running the ball was going to result in them giving back the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just pretty much saying he made throws.
Yeah,
Great
they had
throws on the
they had
move.
balanced attack, and then Mahomes just like backing it up, and then releasing it 20 yards. I mean, just crazy stuff that he was doing. But yeah, they played smart football. They didn't. There was no bad decisions by Mahomes or the running backs. The receivers made good decisions by staying in bounds. I mean, there's just a lot of good things on their part, and that's why they're one of the best teams. I mean, they execute at a very high level.
Yeah. What's also I notice Carlton Davis, SMB, all these corners were so scared about getting beat deep
Hmm.
that literally when the wide receivers would go to the sideline, they would be like 5 yards off of them
Yeah.
for fear that they're going to quickly turn and just run deep. Multiple times you saw that. I'm like, just stay on. I'm like,
Hmm.
trust that your safety is going to get your back. I mean, and someone else made the point earlier that people were crying that Carlton Davis was 1-on-1. They're like, weren't they just calling for that a couple of weeks ago? Get man on man, get
Yeah.
aggressive, get downhill, and now you're asking for zone. It's funny, that's what coaching's about. You got to be able to make those changes and
Hmm.
adjust at halftime, adjust to what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles is pretty good at that.
Right. Understand who you're going against, and make sure you have, the proper, players in place so they can be successful. And we've heard that many of times.
I really want to hear him. I really want to hear what he's going to say.
It's coming. It's gonna be so fun to hear and listen.
All right, so Andrew K said, any idea why Brady has 8 interceptions at home and only 2 on the road? Our prior QB had weird splits last year like that too.
Hmm.
I,
I don't know. I mean, it's just this game is very weird. I mean, it's all matter of inches. I mean, on every play. So,
yeah.
bad decisions, tip balls, all that stuff happens, and interceptions. There's kind of some of it's bad luck, and then others just, what you doing, or someone ran the wrong way. So,
Oh, Raymond followed up his thing saying that the Chiefs actually played to their strength by passing the ball because obviously they knew our strength is stopping the run, so they're not going to run straight into our wall.
yeah.
So, so he says they got outcoached again and again and again. So some of that, I mean, they kept him inside. Yeah, he did run for 1 first down, but
Hmm.
it's hard to stop so much. I mean, they did very very well the whole fourth quarter.
Hmm.
Yeah, we only needed one more stop pretty much, but ah,
Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to continue to do what was working. I mean, the guy had over 200 passing yards in the first half, or almost 300 yards. So, and then in the second half, I mean, yeah, we made some things happen, but again, they're still going to go to their strength, and why not? It's working. So, and put the ball in your best player's hands. That is Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to continue to work because he's that damn good. And it
yeah,
sucks that we can't clone him and have him on every team, and then you have like
yeah,
fantasy football, everywhere.
that'd be a
But
lot of money from every team.
yeah.
Oh, so here's a couple. Robert Green's good with these questions. He said, "What's giving anyone the confidence the offense can turn it around and play well in the next 4 games? We
Whew.
lost to the Bears, but the Bears had a good defense.
Yeah.
We're terrible against good defenses. That's my rebuttal. Against good defenses, we don't show up because we don't know
Mhm.
how to attack weaknesses. Good defenses don't have many weaknesses.
Right.
So we don't know how to attack weaknesses. So we just run our same shit. Against bad defenses, we can find holes all over the place. But that's
Yeah.
just because they're running our players better than your player type of
Well,
system, which
hopefully,
is weird.
hopefully, if we do make the playoffs, we face a bad defense at least a couple times.
All right.
But But yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't have. I mean, my only confidence is really because Tom Brady, and that's really it boils down to because the guy. I mean, he's done it time and time again. He finds ways. He's going to make changes. He's going to make adjustments. I think rest is going to be good for him, and just really studying the offense and really he's going to study himself. I think that's going to make him better. But yeah, that's really my only confidence as far as in the staff. None.
Oh my gosh,
None.
aggressive.
Yeah, none because they haven't shown it to this point, and they haven't really shown it since they've been here, to be honest. So, I mean, I'm hoping for miracles. They do happen, especially in December because we have Christmas, around the corner. So, keep my prayers up. But really, my confidence is in Tom Brady and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin because of their leadership, and Ali Marpet, same thing.
I can agree with that. I mean, I can agree that no matter what the system is, Brady's going to try his hardest to execute it to the best of his ability. And
Hmm.
that is the reason why you have to have some confidence in it.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. He can see there may be issues with it, but
Mm.
there's going to, like, the people got mad that AB was in the backfield and he went out on a little flat route and
Hmm.
Brady throws it like 20 yards in the air out of bounds. Like, what the hell was that? I'm like, well, they did an all-out blitz. It was a cover zero. They were just going all in. He literally knew there was no chance in hell. That was the number one read. If he went to number two, he was going to get killed. So just throw it the hell away. Live to play
Right.
another day. That's a smart decision. It may have looked bad,
Mhm.
but there was no other option. If you expected Jameis to come out of nowhere and just do whatever the hell he does, it wasn't going to happen.
I like the design though. I like AB in the backfield. I think they should do it more because he is probably the best pass catching back that we do have, and utilize him in that way.
Yeah, well, we'll find ways. I mean, they're going to have a
Hmm.
whole week to learn and then game plan. Yeah, it's just some other kind of points. People saying that we're clamoring for man defense, switch to zone, blah blah blah. Like this is how we kind of touched on earlier. Um, let's talk this one, then we'll call it quits. Should
All right.
BA? Because yeah, guys, we'll talk about because people are asking about Adam Thielen and Jefferson against our defense.
Mhm.
We'll cover the Vikings later in the week because once we actually get this film out of the way, we'll talk the Vikings
Yeah.
later. We got 2 weeks, guys.
Right.
Don't worry.
Mhm.
But this is a good question. Should BA and the offensive coordinator Leftwich let TB12 run the offense?
Well, it's got to be a collaboration. I think you need TB12 to run the offense. Sure, I would like to see more no huddle. I like to see more up tempo, get him in rhythm. I think needs to be a facet. So yeah, definitely. But they all need to work together and find a way, find plays that are going to work consistently. Utilize your run game more effectively. Mix in the play action, utilize your players in better ways as far as Godwin and AB and Mike Evans. Let them do what they do best. I think that's very important. So hopefully that's what they figure out going forward.
I fully agree. I mean, you got to work together with what the strengths of your quarterback is. And
Hmm.
if he's done this multiple times, he knows what to do to get to where you need to be. Start listening more and stop drilling your own crap. I don't agree with everyone saying it needs to be Brady's offense. It's not going to be Brady's offense.
No.
You're going to tell 10 other players on the field, oh, switch it everything now, midfield,
Hmm.
mid-season.
Yeah,
Yes, you
most
can
likely.
add a couple wrinkles here and there, collaborative, like you're saying.
Hmm.
And it's, to be honest, could be as simple as that just to get that chemistry, just to get that momentum and the ball rolling. Because once you get some of those small little ones, they're like, oh, maybe they did change the whole offense. No, they didn't. They just pretty much added a couple, and then you're going to see a deep ball wide open again because everyone's worried about the short ball. That's
Right.
all it is. It's a game of chess, just making them think
Mhm.
one thing and you do another. Don't just do flat out the same crap you always do.
Yeah. Continue to use level concepts.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Levels, play action, run the ball.
Yep. Very
Help out your
simple.
quarterback. You don't need to. Yeah, Robert Green said, oh, yeah, just throw the ball 40, 50 times if you're down 20. And that's what he's making fans believe. All
Mm.
right. Well, other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. You guys always bring it every week. I know the Bucks lost, but either way, you get to learn more. We're going to show you a lot more in the film breakdown. I'm probably going to finish up the film right now after the show. But again, thank you. If you haven't yet, hit that like button down somewhere down there. And with that said, until the next one, and go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Have a good night.